You'll be happy to know the president is back home at the White House after a doozy of a trip to the UK. He was in London for the NATO Summit, and it didn't end on a happy note. Trump cut the trip short after seeing a video in which a group of other world leaders who thought they were having a private conversation seemed to be talking about him behind his back. This was captured at Buckingham Palace last night. Watch here as Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and French President Emmanuel Macron gathered together to goof on His Majesty. And now the bombing of Canada begins. This is absolutely unacceptable. How dare they laugh at our ridiculous president? That is our job. After the video, Trump called Trudeau two-faced, and Trudeau is one thing, but Boris Johnson, that's the one that's got to hurt most. I mean, we already knew Trudeau and Macron don't like him, but Boris, sweet, disheveled, crazy hair Boris, even he's supposed to be the Donald Trump of England, and he's laughing. You know you're a mess when even this guy's making fun of you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Donald Trump the one who said the world is laughing at us and he's going to make it stop? If only there was some record of him saying that.
The world is laughing at us. We've got to make them stop.
And the world is laughing at us. They're laughing at the stupidity of our president.
The world is laughing at us. They think we're stupid.
The world is laughing at us. The world is laughing at us.
The world is laughing at us. We don't want other leaders and other countries laughing at us anymore. And they won't be. They won't be.
Mock him up. So then, after Trump witnessed his colleagues poking fun at him, he had to pose with them for a group photo, and the mood was not merry and bright. He took a spot next to his pal, President Erdogan of Turkey. The strong men are his only friends now. This music is terrible, by the way. Did someone... It's like a funeral for planet Earth we're witnessing here. Trump also... Oh, there's his pal. Yeah, don't make eye contact. Also today, he weighed in on his impeachment proceedings as seen through the rosy red lens of Fox News.
Do you want to comment on the House Democrats' impeachment report that came out last night in the hearing today?
Well, I did. I saw it, and it's a joke. Everybody is saying it, and I watched reviews. I watched Hannity, Sean Hannity. I watched Laura Ingraham. I watched Tucker Carlson. I watched a lot of other legal scholars, frankly. I watched some people of great legal talent and highly respected, Alan Dershowitz, and many more.
Yes, Judge Janine, Ted Nugent, the guy from the My Pillow commercials. Everyone agrees. Oh, my puppets are great. He watches a lot of television, it would seem. It was a long day for the House Judiciary portion of the impeachment proceedings. Today, the committee heard from 4 legal scholars who laid out the constitutional grounds for impeachment. This is the part of the story that will be too boring to put it in the movie, but there was a lot of speculation in this committee about what the Founding Fathers would do if they were here to see this. And well, to me, the answer is obvious. They would vomit. They'd be throwing up in their wigs. But if the Founding Fathers were here now, they'd be like, take that orange ape and throw him in the harbor with the tea. But I don't know them, so... Republicans on this committee are testing the theory that a sitting president cannot be impeached if they yell about it loudly enough, and none more so than ranking Republican Doug Collins of Georgia, who shouted his opening statement like a coked-up auctioneer at an old folks' home.
Really? We're bringing you in here today to testify on stuff that most of you have already written about, all 4, for the opinions that we already know, out of the classrooms that maybe you're getting ready for finals in, to discuss things that you probably haven't even had a chance to say, unless you're really good on TV or watching the hearings for the last couple of weeks. You couldn't have possibly actually digested the Adam Schiff report from yesterday or the Republican response in any real way. Now, we can be theoretical all we want, but the American people is really going to look at this and say, huh?
That's right. The American people is looking at this, and we are saying, huh, we really are. There were 4 constitutional scholars on the panel, most notably a professor from Stanford named Pamela Karlan, who did not take kindly to Doug Collins' opening remarks.
Mr. Collins, I would like to say to you, sir, that I read transcripts of every one of the witnesses who appeared in the live hearing because I would not speak about these things without reviewing the facts. So I'm insulted by the suggestion that as a law professor I don't care about those facts.
Collins responded by smirking and looking at his phone, but Professor Karlan wasn't finished.
You know, I spent all of Thanksgiving vacation sitting there reading these transcripts. I didn't, you know, I ate like a turkey that came to us in the mail that was already cooked.
We had to fight a whole family of raccoons living under the porch for it, you son of a bitch. So 3 of the 4 professors destroyed Trump. They said what he did, it was exactly what the founders had in mind when they outlined impeachment in the Constitution. They said his actions were worse than any president ever. Basically, they rolled up the Constitution and spanked him with it. And the 4th guy defended him weakly, but it all boils down to this. Donald Trump used the office of president for his own personal gain, which must confuse him because he's like, yeah, of course I did. That's why I ran for president, to use it for my gain. But it's so interesting to watch these guys try to act like what he did was fine. You know what I want for Christmas this year? I'd love to see what these Republicans would be saying if President Obama had done this. Imagine if Obama froze hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid to one of our allies who was at war in exchange for dirt on Mitt Romney. They'd be losing their minds. Not that there is any dirt on Mitt Romney, other than sometimes he drinks chocolate milk. But you understand what I'm saying. So Rudy Giuliani, the president's lawyer, yesterday we learned that over the summer, Rudy made a call to the White House, then made another call to the office that controls the budget, which happens to be the same office that put a hold on financial aid to Ukraine. I mean, these guys didn't just leave a trail of breadcrumbs. They're throwing whole loaves all over the ground. Why was Rudy Giuliani on the phone with the Office of Management and Budget? He doesn't work for the government. This would be like if your housekeeper called your therapist to see what's going on with you mentally. And with all this going on, while he is at the center of a scandal involving Ukraine, where is Rudy Giuliani right now? In Ukraine. According to the New York Times, Rudy is in Kiev on a mission to dig up more imaginary dirt. It's unbelievable. And Rudy's not the only Team Trumper getting raked over these calls. The Intelligence Committee report also showed that Representative Devin Nunes, the ranking Republican on the Intelligence Committee, had multiple phone calls with one of Giuliani's Ukrainian henchmen, this guy Lev Parnas, whose headshot tells you everything you need to know about him. So Nunes went on Hannity last night, and even though he was in Fox-friendly territory, he had a look on his face like he just went boom, boom in his underoos.
Did you ever talk to this guy, Les Parnas, or whoever his name is?
You know, it's possible, but I haven't gone through all my phone records. I don't really recall that name. You know, I remember the name now because he's been indicted. But why would CNN rely on somebody like this? You know, and I'll go back and check all my records, but it seems very unlikely that I would be taking calls from random people.
It wasn't someone else, it was you. Then there's no need to go through the records, though, because here they are right here. You spoke to him 4 times, once for 8 minutes and 34 seconds. And who among us hasn't forgotten they spoke to someone named Lev Parnas 4 times about digging up dirt for the president? I have calls with shady Soviet real estate moguls every day. Meanwhile, this is what the Democrats are up to right now. Andrew Yang held an event in Manchester, New Hampshire, at which, for some reason, he decided to spray whipped cream into a supporter's mouth. And then watch this here, because he gets going, and another guy's like, hey, do it to me. And his campaign manager's like, all right, already, let's maybe not the best, maybe not a presidential look. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Give back this holiday season. Buy my new book, The Serious Goose. I wrote it and illustrated it. All the money I make goes to children's hospitals across the country. So, you know what to do.